hope your ship is well. That only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. In the deep digital high seas, we travel with ease until we reach the outer edge and freeze. The Arctic chill like a very speed mill through the darkness led by our will. Yo ho, on an adventure we go to beyond the outer limits of society, broadcasting the reality. The pirates will always steal the show. It's from WPRPN, you know. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. Dock our vessels in the Skullport Harbor. No land lovers will fight for you harder. Your old first mate went AWOL after a drinking field haul. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates will come along. The changes we seek may not be long. That is why I wrote this song. And we go ho ho, on adventure we go. Welcome, everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to our inaugural 2026 World Pirate Radio News segment. We are back after a couple of months of downtime. I think well-deserved rest and recreation. I, of course, am your host, as always, Robin, as Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. WPRPN.com is the website you want to drop by. Take a look at. Sign up is free, so be sure to check out all the links we have available and take advantage of offerings through Patreon and elsewhere, including the merchandise we have up for grabs off of galacticfire.com. That would be one place to go. If you like to help us out, of course, that's the way to do it, along with liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit subscription notification buttons. If you have any issues with those notification buttons for whatever reason not working, not kicking in, or the fact you've been unsubscribed, do let us know. YouTube, not exactly our best live streaming partner by any means. So, I guess, and Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is our PayPal contact email that you'll want to take note of, along with if you have any show suggestions or guest ideas you'd like to send our way. So we're going to be scaling back things a little bit more probably this year because of our work schedule here via South Korea. We've got a lot on our plate, but yeah, I think hopefully as it stands, for, the way things are now, we can make time for at least once every 2 weeks, depending on how things go, launching the World Pirate Radio News end of things. And similarly with the feature guest interviews, we got a lot of great guests lined up. It's just mostly a question of listener support and sponsorship. That's what we need to really get things a little more fired up here via this end. So if you have any suggestions or ideas along those lines, marketing, technical support, and the like, by all means, we're all ears. So there we go. And this go around, it's great to connect with a number of old friends and fellow pirate mateys here via Telegram, which you would formerly know as Skype. We got Robert Morningstar out of Manhattan, New York, USA. Naroki5, it looks like, has connected, dropped in, courtesy of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. First last, I think that's Alan, whose home state is it's Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado, I believe. And finally, with guitar in hand, Harpo, Yvon Malenfant. He's not really a bad kid, though, contrary to what some people might think, if you understand the French, that is. So, Yvonne, how did you get that family name? Have you traced it back down through the years? It's
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's quite a zinger, isn't it? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
There are a few theories, hypothesis, I should say. One is that way back, our family were Huguenot, and so the Catholic Church would say they're malenfants, or
Right.
sick children.
Yeah.
Or
Bad kids, yeah.
That's one hypothesis. Another one is more tongue-in-cheek irony, kind of like the Dutch way. They would just choose these weird words as a last name.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe somebody in the family were sick or evil. Who knows? Hard to say, really.
You don't have too much of that the genetic disposition on board, do you? What do you?
Well, I rate pretty low on the psychopath scale.
Have you taken the test?
On psychopathology. I'm more neurotic than psychotic, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I would concur. I've known you long enough that sure, a little. Yeah. But just quality meditation, man. Quality meditation, that'll fix it. What's that?
If I may say, speaking of music, I don't know if I told you this, but back in November, I got a hearing aid. Work PC paid for it. And channel 3 is kind of stereo for singing.
Right.
And what happened was my hearing, the bass was fine, but then the treble just really sucked.
Yeah.
So the hearing aid helped to lift my treble so I could hear clearer.
Balance things out.
Make me a better singer.
Nice mix. Good mix, yeah. Your guitar, that's a nice looking axe you got there. So I don't know if you want to. We'll wait for.
Korea.
In Korea, what's the brand name?
It's all Bugs Gear.
Oh, jeez. They make pretty decent little guitars, the Koreans.
They're mainly made for export to Japan.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So,
and I gave the luthier the specs I wanted. It's basically a Martin D45.
Oh, yeah.
And Judy Collins signature series with a strip of maple on the back.
Right. And how's the busking been going?
Oh, not bad. I haven't busked since last week.
Damn,
Depends on the day and what kind of mood people staggering by are in.
Hey, if you can find an amp for me, if you can find a decent link to a little item, a product I can pick up and purchase, ideally here in Korea, could have it shipped as well too. But we need something with rechargeable batteries that will last maybe, a couple of hours at least out there, and keep it. I just need something with a little low volume, little boost to things, so not too overwhelming, of course.
First thing that comes to mind is a pig nose, an old-fashioned pig nose.
Right.
It takes 2 D batteries.
Those
that would be perfect for you.
Those are Fenders, are they, Alan?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, well, let's just wait for the music from Yvonne. We do kind of round the horn fashion, as is typically the case here. over to Naroki, who's often his time is
Can I do
limited.
my song?
Well, hang on, Yvonne, hang on. We'll come back to you in a moment, okay? As soon as we're done introductions, we'll let you on cut loose with your music, and then we'll dive headlong into whatever news we've got. I know that Robert, he's got his breakdown analysis of what we currently see unfolding in the Middle East, of course, and I've got my theories, which really kind of cut to the heart of the matter, as you can probably tell via the cover splash photo we have for anyone who's seen it, running in conjunction with this week's live stream. So, but Niroki and then I guess Robert and Alan. How about that? Go ahead.
Can I finish my introduction?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're not done. Okay, finish your introduction.
Yeah, as you know, I work as a counselor, life coach. First half hour is always free. Get a hold of me. Remember, there's hope. Check out harpo.ca. And if you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah. Guaranteed happy ending?
Not necessarily. Sometimes a sad ending.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's all right. So we'll leave that one where it sits. Naroki, hey, good to see you, my friend. How are things going?
Oh, well, yeah. First of all, you called it a really inopportune moment. So I decided to
What
return the
else is
call.
new, man? Every time we reach out, it's like you're out there walking the yard or busy. Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I just literally just got in and been to deal with yet another insurance issue, but I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, Naroki 5 live stream, two podcasts, Naroki 5 live stream, and the Red Pill Nation hangout. Yeah, doing doing okay. I've heard some rather interesting opinions about what's going on in the Middle East. Most of them are not particularly flattering of what the current administration is doing. You might also want to cover some of the insane BS that's happening in BC right now with contradictory land claims and people getting evicted from homes they've lived in for multiple decades on Indian reservations and all that, and all of the secret backroom deals that have been taking place in BC.
Nobody getting shot yet, huh?
Nobody's being shot yet. Yeah, no, there's a working theory that's developing because it's like, from what I've been able to piece together so far, the pattern seems to be that they go and they make these announcements and then they do it via a backroom deal and then they put out these announcements quietly in places where you don't normally expect people to look. And yeah, no, this is a pattern that's been repeating itself. And what's ended up happening is not the big land claim that's taking up the entire lower mainland, but there's another land claim that also got signed. And the natives are using that one to boot people out of homes, non-natives that have lived there for decades, out of these trailers. I think it's on Cowichan on Vancouver Island. Yeah, the claims are somewhat spurious. I don't want to get into too much detail right now, but I mean, I can tell you what I know when you choose to get around to it.
Shout out to Didgeridoo. Good to connect with you, Mr. Do. Didgeridoo 3. And we do appreciate you reaching out to us over our rather extended hiatus. It was a combination of what we routinely take off as far as January is concerned, following, winding up with, Operation Secret Santa's grand finale. And then right at the start of February, where we were hoping to, throw ourselves here back into the thick of things, I got my bronchitis kicked in. As it For regular listeners, well, if you've been listening to us for a few years, will know that's a that's an ongoing, it's a problem that does plague me only at that one particular time of year. And I attribute it largely to the smoking of cigarettes. that which I gave up in 2010 is what I'm guessing. So I'm paying the price here, kids. Don't smoke. And even the weed, this is a real, this is a major issue. People, I would like to get some feedback on, get to the bottom of, with the Chinese poisoning, as I guess the CIA did back in the day, Mexican pot, grass, what have you, Mary Jane. They're not only they're surrounding all of them, a great many of America's military bases, buying up the land, growing weed, and then poisoning the pot crops, and then freely distributing it amongst, the West, as they are with the fentanyl too. So they're pretty, you can see there's an agenda in place there, to contrary to what RFK Jr., his whole vision and the direction he'd like to see the country moving, with making America healthy again. The Chinese, the CCP, seem to be quite diametrically opposed with their aspirations. So,
Jackie, how are your lungs? Are you
oh,
okay?
yeah, no, much better now, much better now. It's just that
NAC is really good for that. NAC lung
yeah,
system.
yeah. We got no, it wasn't as bad this year as it has the year where where
Yellow dust.
the nano the nano particles that through the chemtrails. Is that what you're talking about? That dude,
Yellow
I
dust.
am sent. Yeah, that. Oh, the yellow dust, the Huangsa, from China, the Mongol desert that they talk about. Yeah, mixed with God only knows what, the crap that's coming over from
Gobi
China.
Desert.
That gets to my lungs. I can feel it. My respiratory system. I'm very mindful and conscious of it. Compared to a lot of other people who just, I don't know what they do. It's like they just kind of ignorant of it all, and kind of don't pay much attention to what their environment. Where Canada, I can say, was so wonderful. I guess I didn't spend a lot of time in Vancouver, but getting up in the central interior, visiting my sister in the Bulkley Valley region, and down then to the Lakes District, that God, the air was just great, just amazing. So it's really a pity that, I couldn't. I kind of in some ways dream of, in an ideal world, I'd be back there touring, playing music, performing, and just, hopefully turning people on, lifting their spirits. As ideally, that's what musicians try to do, right? They to enfoncer les chanteurs, and le chanson, enchanting, very enchanting with what they had to deliver. So, but anyways, getting a little off track here. So, why don't we finish up with no, Naroki? I think you did a pretty good job. If you're happy with unpacking your introductory remarks, we'll head over to pass the talking stick to Robert, and then down to Alan. Mr. Morningstar.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear you again. I've tried to contact you by email for Revolution Radio, but you don't check your emails. Be that as it may, we're here now. I'd like to say to Naroki, I'm well aware of how they're using these ploys of returning the land to the indigenous people. It's a UN plot all around the world, claiming that colonialism stole the lands of all of these quote unquote indigenous people, and that they're planning now to use that ploy to take back all of the developed land from the people who developed it and turned it into success. It's all over Africa.
Interesting. Do you have any links of this happening in Africa and other places? Because I mean, I would.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Zimbabwe.
Because I would love to send this stuff. There's a couple of content creators, Moose on the Loose, for
South
instance.
Africa.
Yeah.
They're
And
starving.
I got connections in South Africa. I can make some inquiries there as well.
Namibia,
But this is
they expropriated the white farmers, and now their food supply is collapsing because they don't know how to farm.
oh, I know
And
about that. I've known about that one for a while.
well, that's how it started. But again, let me just jump over. So that's a very important topic that you brought up. The
Yeah, that's
Canadian
curious.
communists. This is communism. Canadian communists are trying to steal the land from Canadians whose pioneer forefathers and foremothers tilled the land, you know, developed it, built
That's
their
right.
houses, built homes, and built Canada.
Brought the
They're trying
technology.
to,
Yeah.
and then they're trying to get rid of white people. Let's just be plain and frank about it. And
Yeah,
they've also killed more than 55,000 people through the MAID program.
Oh yeah.
So this is global genocide, an attack on the white race.
And
that's
and
full on organ harvesting that's going on.
oh,
there.
that too. The
Absolutely.
MAID problem, and then you look at Yvonne. I don't know if he's really what he's done there with his hearing aids, but that's quite. It really. Well, we've all heard of. There's all kinds of aids, of course, but hearing aids. That's. There's a lot of people that are.
I think that's bad fun.
Yeah, hey Robert, I would like to contact you offline about this.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
offline, but I mean,
Yeah.
I hadn't put two and two together like that. I mean, it's like I know about the stuff in Africa, but if you've got other places other than that and what's going on in BC,
Sure.
there's definitely some people here in Canada that would definitely benefit from getting this information.
Sure. Now let me go to my breaking news. A friend of mine, Victor Hugo Vaca, just appeared on Redacted. I put the link there to expose Israel's plans to destroy the United States. This war that they initiated against Iran is a plan to suck us into quicksand with a sinkhole under it. And I hate to say it, stupid Donald Trump, whom I support and supported, fell for it. Netanyahu is a satanic religious fanatic. He's a Sabbatean. And they believe that God unfolds creation through evil. The motto of the Mossad is, through deception you will wage war. And that means deceiving everybody, deceiving the enemy, deceiving your allies, and ultimately it winds up deceiving themselves. So what's happened is that it has come out that the Zionists speak in code words. They expound in very racist, genocidal terms, but they use the code words Edom and Ishmael and Amalekites to color or camouflage the targets that they're going after. And they often talk about destroying Edom. Edom stands for Europe, Europeans, and Americans, particularly Caucasians of Western European origin, Germanic and Celtic bloodlines. And they've been harping on this for years. And now enough videos of these statements by rabbis. I sent Jaffe one of them a couple of days ago. Eliyahu Kin in 2008 said that this was going to be done, that they were going to bring about the end of the world and destroy Edom, and specifically Edom meaning America, and that when America falls, Israel will rise and rule the world. The article or the interview that I sent, the link is to Redacted with Clayton Morris and Natalie Morris, and they interviewed a very good friend of mine, Victor Hugo Vaca, who left the United States for fear of death because he was exposing some very important things. He now lives in Georgia, and he found out that the Israelis have set up a secret drone base in Georgia, and they've been sending drones to attack Azerbaijan, which of course is part of Turkey. And they're planning to attack Turkey and pin it on Iran. So the warning is out, and people really have to listen to it and spread the word that we can't let Israel draw us into Armageddon, which is their goal. They want to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and they drew this Iranian missile attack on themselves, hoping that the Iranians would land a missile in Jerusalem and destroy the mosque, because the mosque has to be destroyed before they rebuild the third temple. And all of this is tied into this crazy theology that they believe that what we are calling extraterrestrials and the extraterrestrial presence on Earth is the return of their old gods. It's the return of the Elohim of ancient times. And this was posited by Einstein and Oppenheimer in 1947. So the whole history of Israel has been to destroy the United States, to destroy Islam, to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, to bring forth and create the third temple so that the Elohim can descend and reside in the third temple and rule the world from Jerusalem. That's what they believe. And that is what the whole world is being tricked into playing. As I've said on this show and others for years, the New World Order has hijacked all of the world's end time prophecies, each of the religion's end time prophecies, and has been stage managing them, stage crafting them on the global theater, engaged in global theatrics, to bring about, force true the prophecies of the book of Revelation.
Control the narrative.
Exactly.
So
And
fundamentalist Judeo-Christian religion, basically Zionist.
Yeah,
that's what I otherwise call them.
You could have used any other phrase than stagecraft, because that's the name of my production company. It's Stagecraft Productions.
So you could have used another one too. But anyway, regarding Zane Ivy's comment, the whole thing is that Christian Zionism is a mind control operation. Christian Zionism is really satanic Christianity. I used that term recently, and Victor Hugo Vaca has picked it up. And you have to start understanding that Christians who support Zionism are supporting Satan. They are heretics.
It's essential to the whole end times deception. They're drinking the end times deception Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
You know, they're falling for it, and I don't understand why. Either they're it's a malicious in intent, and they are concealing their true
Yes, it is. They enjoy it.
Yeah, or they're just ignorant.
Yeah, well, the Christian part of it, the Zionists are consciously evil and enjoy it. They enjoy deceiving, and they enjoy exploiting. The last thing I want to say, Jaffe, about bronchitis, I have been stricken by something like that over the course of the last year, and I think it's exposure to the shedding of people with mRNA clot shots. So I've had to fight. I took ivermectin for 2 months, 12 milligrams a day, to relieve it, and it has been relieved, but it was a very unusual gunk. It would only strike me in the early morning. When I lay down to sleep, I would start coughing with something in my bronchial passages, and I would cough up this brown gunk, and when I spit it out into a glass to get a specimen, it would split up into white and brown. And the white is hydrogel, and the brown is some kind of, I think some kind. So I've had fungus fight. I've been.
Right. Okay. Just getting Telegram going there. That's what you're in the echo. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was one thing. We're kind of multitasking here. That's why that was bleeding in there for a moment. But Mullen, have you heard of Mullen? And ivermectin would be great if I could get my hands on some. And I know you've got a connection. You've got to a source. So maybe that's the best way we should try going about doing that. And
I thought Korea blocked it or banned it or.
No, no. Oh, no, no. I don't think so. And even if they did, we would no. There's been items that we've ordered, and I guess the wife, she's not that helpful, unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of things, including pushing back against this nonsense, this bullshit that they pulled over the past number of years. It's just not that. Unfortunately, she's been conditioned, as a lot of Asians are, to go along with whatever the government says. No
Yep.
questions asked. You got it. You just fall into line, keep your mouth shut, and do what they say. But the so and it's been really a struggle, a real battle with her in trying to, like, she's content with the whole blue pill end of things. She's just blissfully ignorant, and that's where she wants to stay. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people.
I've said to friends recently, and I mean it, denial is a very comfortable pillow. So that's where people retreat. Um, I saw the Teddy Roosevelt quote: "If you want to make a conservative angry, lie to him. If you want to make a liberal angry at you, tell him the truth." But I wanted to just give a wrap up, the synopsis of what I think has been going on, or is the hidden strategy behind this war in Iran. First of all, Israel wants to use it to mire the United States in quicksand with a sinkhole, wants to destroy us. But on the Trump side, their plan is to use striking Iran to get rid of four enemies. Let's say Iran is an enemy, but that is the tool. The others are China, the EU, and the UK. And it's an amazing thing that is happening. By taking Maduro out in Venezuela and taking out Iran, closing the Straits of Hormuz, they've choked China's oil supply. They've also choked Britain's oil supply, because it turns out that oil was discovered in Iran in 1908 by the British, and they got an exclusive contract with the Iranian government they formed the British Petroleum, BP and Shell. So they've been floating on Iranian oil since 1908. Someone recently said that the Royal Navy ruled the world steaming on Iranian oil. So the UK, which has been reluctant to endorse the war or get involved with it, and is giving token support by sending one destroyer to protect Cyprus. Iran has been supported by the British government since 1908. And the change of regimes that have occurred, whether they were the CIA overthrow of Mossadegh in 1953 or the CIA overthrow of the Shah in 1978, 79, and the regime of the Ayatollah, has been completely supported by Britain because they depend on Iranian oil.
Right. Yeah.
The next target is Europe, because Europe has been really anti-American and been bloodsuckers on us. And Trump was the first one to tell them, you've been leeching on the United States, sucking on our tit for 80 years since the end of World War II, and you got to stop. You got to pay your dues to NATO. And then they were trying to lure the United States into war with Russia, which thank God we avoided. By electing Trump, we avoided war with Russia. But ironically, he's been lured into a war with Iran. And the final thing, which I think is really brilliant, this attack, and I'm going to call it that, this attack on Iran is a counterattack economically on Britain, because Britain has been leeching our national resources since the Civil War. And the central bank, the Federal Reserve, all funnels money into the City of London. And now I think, if it works, one of the greatest tactics in economic warfare is that President Trump, if he succeeds, is going to hijack Lloyd's of London's worldwide global insurance scam, because Lloyd's of London is refusing to insure shipping through the Gulf of Hormuz and shipping through the Persian Gulf. And the president said, we'll insure it. So he's put up this agency to insure shipping where Lloyd's of London is refusing to take the risk. So that, in a nutshell, is my overview of what is really going on.
All right. Well, I've got more to add to that regard.
Sure, I'd love to hear.
No, that's great. That's great the way you've laid that out. But the real kicker to me are the implications of the Epstein files and the blackmail that Netanyahu and via the honey trap that was laid out through Epstein and Maxwell. The implications. There's only 2%. There's only 2% of the files that have been released, apparently. The next, and as bad as they are, the next 98%, word has it, are even just more horrible and disgusting. Even worse than what we've already come to confirm. And we've been saying it here for the longest time, well before it ever made into the mainstream. Also, I've been saying that, look, these people are dangerous, they're powerful, and they will start a war. And that's exactly what they've done, because they've become too exposed, essentially. Not only that, but with the pillaging of the economies around the world and the transfer of wealth. COVID was a big one for that. Obviously, it was epic proportions, historic levels, and we got to get to Yvonne here momentarily too. Let's not forget, we've only got 10 minutes left.
On your comment.
If I can respond.
Hang on, let Robert finish.
You're absolutely right, because the reason why Netanyahu started the war in June in 2025 was to take the spotlight off what was going on in the Knesset. And what was going on was the exposure of satanic ritual abuse by one of the cornerstones of his support system, a Jewish sect, ultra-Orthodox Jewish sect called the Haredis. And they were exposing that they are engaged in Baal worship and child sacrifice. So all of this was coming out in the Knesset, and that's why Netanyahu went to war in June. Now the Epstein files came out. Epstein files is the right pronunciation. And that, again, he had to take the attention off of that. So the exposure of Zionist Baal worship is really at the core of this whole thing.
They've got that was in the catacombs, I guess, the subterranean catacombs beneath the Knesset. And thank you, because there's not a lot of people that know about that. Let's hear the name one more time. Hope maybe it'll stick with me. It's the Baal worship of this sect called the who exactly?
Haredi.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's look that up, folks. Look that up and get
If you go to Robert Morningstar's The Morningstar Report on Substack, my name robertmorningstar.substack.com, and backtrack to last June, I wrote that. It's called, if you go to search, it says From Torah to Trauma.
Good.
Just put that in.
All right.
And in the internet, From Torah to Trauma, you'll find the article. It's very explicit.
So this is, I'm not sure what June exactly with that date, but October 7th, of course, with this, I mean, how much more obvious do you have to be to for people not to realize it was an inside job? Very sloppy, very transparent, very obvious. And cui bono, as with any crime, cui bono, means, motive, opportunity. Netanyahu, once again, under huge pressure from the Israeli public, essentially, with the huge protests that were taking place, needed a distraction. As is typically, how things work, of course, and that's why that was. You look at it in a Hegelian dialectical sense. It was it worked, played itself out quite well. The mainstream media went right along with the narrative. These people are totally complicit too. They're totally they're to be held to account as well for their ignorance and their lies, the Mockingbird media, because they're being very disingenuous. Like, they're intelligent people, clearly, and they're not being very good journalists
Yeah. I
whatsoever.
think we have to get off to give time for.
Yeah, Yvonne, you got a few minutes here, Yvonne. Sorry for the delay. Go ahead.
Okay, Robert, it's a very interesting hypothesis. You make a lot of really good points.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Pay attention to that.
There are two things I would take you to task on. Though I agree that 1953, Kermit Roosevelt and the CIA took over the government. I don't agree with the CIA being involved with the overthrow of the Shah. I think that kind of went against U.S.
Interests?
Interest due to the
you're
kidnapping.
You're wrong about that.
Can I finish, please?
Okay, but you're wrong about
speak. Could you give me a minute? That's my take. You can disagree. That's fine. The second thing is, the Edomites, that's Esau's children. Most of them were in Jordan, southeast of the Dead Sea, probably near Petra. And I think that might be code more toward Islamists than anything else, radical Islamists. Saying it's Western Europe or whatever, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I think you need to read your Bible more in history. And the third thing is, if I can finish, please.
Just, Robert, hang on, let him finish.
Both of you, your take on October 7th, I totally disagree with you. I don't think it, was, as you said, I think it was an evil act against Israel. And you can disagree. That's fine.
Well, of course it was. Look up the Hannibal Directive. Look up the Hannibal Directive.
First of all, the CIA is not on the side of the United States. The CIA is the New World Order. They're out for themselves. They're hijacked. They've been hijacked since James Jesus Angleton became a Zionist.
Oh, yeah.
And as far as what I'm saying to you about Edom, you have to listen to the rabbis. I am quoting you, rabbis from Israel, who explicitly say, Edom is America, Edom is Europe, America and Europe has Jewish blood on their hands, and they must be destroyed. Those are not my words.
I thought Edom was a cheese.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, that's enough.
Okay. Hey, let's hear. Can we hear some music before we got 5 minutes here, Yvonne? Just set the political differences and analysis.
Thank you. It's off my upcoming album, The Environmentally Retarded. It's called Cry.
Let's meet ourselves out. Good stuff.
you cry, cry, cry as you say goodbye to what you've seen. And you cry, cry, cry as you say goodbye to what you've seen. The kid leaves home with a gun in his hand. Then you try to understand. When all you can see is blood across your land. Then you try to understand. And you cry, cry, cry as you try to understand. And you cry, cry, cry as you try to understand.
Good stuff, man. What is that? That's E minor or G?
The drop D tuning,
Oh yeah. Okay.
like a D model, whatever.
Nice
Yeah.
song.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, my
yeah.
Gilles Bad wrote it.
That's a friend of yours out in Quebec or the Maritimes.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. And yeah.
Now you got to sing your song.
Well, I'm not doing it. Maybe what I'll do after the break is we
Lady
can.
Lowland.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got some actually. That's one way. I've got some stuff lined up. I might be able to get in the mix and just kind of. I'll bring it down, add for a little bit of. Contribute to the ambiance to things here in the second hour. So we're going to get cut off here momentarily. Robert, let's hear your Substack one more time. Harpo.ca, of course, is where people can find Yvonne with his counseling services and miscellaneous other goodies, of course.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
RobertMorningstar.substack.com. And I put the link in there for Yvonne to hear Eliyahu Kin speaking, Rabbi Eliyahu speaking in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, I'm going to bail out. I have a lot more work to do. It's been a great reunion, and thank you all for listening and for
Robert,
sharing.
when can we hook up? I've been dropping in at the last 2 weeks. I've been here at noon on your Zoom link in your room, MJ13. There's been nobody there.
Jaffe, I wrote you countless emails telling you we can't use Zoom anymore, that we have to use Discord. I wrote you 3 emails.
Never saw them. Yeah,
well,
sorry.
You gotta check your email. You have to have a Discord account, and you have to give me your Discord name so that they can allow you in on the server. It's not open like Skype used to be.
Yeah. What's your Discord name? Just Robert Morningstar? I think we searched.
No, your Discord name. I have to get your Discord name so that I can give it to the server manager to allow you in for security purposes.
Yeah. We've searched. We've already searched for you. We found like 2 or 3 Robert Morningstars. So
I think it's called the Morningstar Report.
Okay, Niroki and Alan. Niroki, what your homepage?
The Red Pill Nation at WordPress is although I don't post up there very much.
And mine's.
Yep. Oh, by the way, I have a Telegram group though.
Oh, good. And we're gonna get cut off momentarily, and there we go. We are done, folks. So for now, it's got more than a 1 hour live stream here. So what we're gonna do is queue up our promotional interlude, essentially taking a look, hearing a little bit more about, learning a thing or two, hopefully, about Red Dragon Herbs and Teas and the CannaSense Cannabis Collective. We've been working with them. They've been with us here for a number of years. We're always on the hunt for new sponsors and, actively reaching out to the public, of course, hoping that we can pick up more support throughout the course of what we're doing here. Hate to be operating in the red, of course, running, out of pocket. It's not the way that anyone really, the situation anyone should find themselves in. So liking, commenting, sharing. Remember to hit subscription, notification buttons, passing word on to friends, family, and coworkers. That's great. That really helps to go a long way. But if you can connect with us through Patreon or let us know that you've picked up a t-shirt or coffee mug off of galacticfire.com. We've been doing okay on the digital front over on D Live, which I think we might be live streaming. In fact, yes, we are live streaming through this go round, but unfortunately, Facebook, Discord is really they're messing with us here. So there's no Facebook and no YouTube. So I'm not sure what that is. Something funny. It it should not be the case, but it is. And that's all part of this wonderful non-net neutrality that we face, that we're contending with here as we do our best to have our voices heard via the digital underground. In classic live streaming pirate radio fashion. I mean, really, what more would you expect? So a lot more to get to here in the second hour, but as we said, we're gonna queue up the Red Dragon Herbs and Teas CannaSense Cannabis Collective promotional blurb momentarily here, and so that you can find out a little bit more of what they've essentially got to offer. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, with any order of $25 or more, you will receive an immediate 10% discount. Just simply let Ryan or his wife know one or two things: pirate radio or pirate code, and that'll help to unlock the that great savings at this stage in time where we find ourselves with the state of the economy and so forth. Really, many people can appreciate. And of course, it's all about the great products and what they have to offer, and enhancing our lives so that we can better flourish, essentially, as humans, have happier, healthier time that we spend here in this form on this planet. So, well, the CannaSense Cannabis Collective, hopefully not too much in the way of Chinese CCP toxic quasi paraquat chemicals being sprayed on what they have to offer. Presumably not. But 5813 is our referral link. That's what you have to keep in mind, and that'll help everyone in a real big way. So we'll be back in just a flash here, folks. Do not touch that radio dial or computer mouse.
Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at CannaSense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's CannaSense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. CannaSense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. CannaSense.com. CannaSense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herb's mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixin' to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free headache relief or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed health relief. We are back with the second half, the home stretch to this week's debut, 2026 World Pirate Radio News segment. A pretty lively, information-packed opening portion to what we had to offer this go round. A few technical hiccups, unfortunately, not live streaming through Facebook or BoobTube. They've got us shut down for some reason. Thankfully, Telegram and DLive. DLive is a big one here, really. You want to check out. It's dlive.tv. It's as simple as that, folks. Just follow the link that we have available off of the show description end of things. And there you go. So along with a Telegram, of course, home network .tv as well. And let's see. I think there's one more we might have on board at present. No, I think that's about it. DLive, home network.tv, and Telegram is what we're left with, unfortunately, as far as the live streaming end of things. But we will be archiving the show, of course, as always, at some point here, hopefully not too far down the road. Via our BitChute, Rumble, what else are we looking at there? Odyssey, essentially. So that's the way it goes. I need to call to connect, otherwise I'm calling 20 people for some reason. That's hilarious. Yeah, Alan, and I hope people are not. If you're in the room right now, I've got to remind these guys constantly to not to keep the call running on their end. That'll really mess things up if that's the case. Mark, can you hear us there, Mark? Hang on a second. We got to get your channel. We'll get your channel open here. There, go ahead. Rodriguez Productions. Yeah, you're coming a little staticky, Mark.
I'm doing a lot of edits right now. That's why. You kind of caught me off guard.
Oh, well, okay. We called you the first go round as well, but I guess you didn't hear us. It was about an hour ago.
Yeah, we just finished up maybe 30 minutes ago.
Oh yeah. So, well, how are things going with you've got we've been seeing your posts on Facebook, which, just to remind listeners, we've been blocked for some reason from we're not able to live stream through Facebook at the moment, but we've been seeing a lot of your content popping up, so that's good to see.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's easy to take and get in there. Sometimes it isn't. You know how Facebook is. I'm just lucky that I can stream there.
Right, right. Okay, well, we got a lot of news items to get to here. You guys can maybe take a look and see what's we've essentially taken note of. It just got to the point where it was because we had a few months of downtime essentially that we just figured we'd kind of improvise or freestyle here. We rather than taking note of every major news item that was appearing in our feeds, of course. So, as we go about working on essentially connecting the dots, but also exploring what the larger part of the iceberg, as it were. You've all seen, of course, presumably, familiar with the iceberg analogy and how most people are able to only see what's the little part that's above the surface, and even that's kind of blurry to them, unfortunately. The part that they can see, but there's so much that remains beneath the surface, sub rosa, or occulted, basically. So, but once again, yeah, speaking of which, the not too hidden anymore. It's come out more into the open. It's all part of the apocalypse, for if you ask me. Meaning, it's a revelation or an unveiling. This epic end times scenario, which who knows how it's all gonna play out. But as Robert Morningstar hit upon, he mentioned in the opening segment, it's these steering committees. You have the steering committees, you have the think tanks, the NGOs, non-government organizations, the non-profits. They're always worth taking note of as well. The way it seems they go about, no rest for the wicked, I guess.
Hey, Jeffy.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to duck out until I'm done editing.
Sure.
That way, get some sound quality and all that. And if you're still up while I'm taking and I'm done, I'll come in for a little bit with you guys.
Sounds good. We'll be here for about an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Peace out, bro.
Hopefully I'll be finished up by then.
All right.
Or before then. All
Happy
right?
sailing.
All right.
Okay. Well, we didn't mean to call Robert. I guess he'll just be sitting there, doing his thing. We didn't mean, didn't intend on pestering him.
Actually, I'm willing to talk about Alan in support of Alan's discovery of the shot that killed Charlie Kirk. We've been working on it for a long time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It came from his
incredible discovery, and it was drones. So when he speaks, I'm in support of his discovery.
I thought it came from the little clip-on mic. It seemed. I watched that video. It looked like it shot up from as people have talked about different theories, of course. The little clip-on mic.
You have to watch Alan's video.
I did see it, but maybe because it looked like the little.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, there's a projectile that came up from down below. It looked like.
It came down.
That was the exit wound you're looking at in his neck. That's the exit.
Yeah, the entry wound back of the head from above.
Okay.
And Alan has videos of the drones that were flying all over the place and being controlled by two military aircraft that were circling the venue throughout.
Yeah. It's really dodgy, isn't it? So much. There's just so much with the Epstein files and many other issues. October 7th, where you compare the official narrative to what actually probably happened, and it just.
Well, you know what happened this week in the Jerusalem Post? The Jerusalem Post published.
That was a radio show. I'm actually on at the moment.
Oh, Alan can't hear you. Alan, we got to mute you out. Hang on a second.
The Jerusalem Post had a headline that Netanyahu knew the attack was coming and let it happen, and it was released. Information was released by Shin Bet, their intelligence agency.
Just recently.
This week. I just got it.
Well, there have been leaks. Like there have been military insiders that have been protesting and speaking out for some time now, along those very lines, saying that things just don't add up. They were ordered to stand down, and so on and so forth. So that's right.
Yeah, Netanyahu's holding on to power by prolonging war. He has to keep.
Oh my
people.
God. Did you hear his house was bombed just the other day, apparently, and they won't, Fox and the mainstream Mockingbird media won't report on it, but Jimmy Dore did.
Some people think he was very injured. He had
His brother was killed. Another brother was killed.
I didn't hear
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
And
Apparently.
now that's not Iran. I
What?
don't think,
Who's bombing his house? You think that's Trump?
No. I think Israelis are really pissed at him. They realize they're going to destroy. They get rid of him. That's what I think. Personally.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
I don't think that Iran could sneak a drone into Netanyahu's house, but I think that Israelis could do that.
Do you know his office was hit last week too, right? Of course he wouldn't have been there. They say that he's flying around. He's he's on the move quite a lot.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I would be
scared shitless. So
yeah,
is
the
it?
U.S. after you? No, so we have so many different covert ways in order to kill somebody. I mean, if we didn't want Putin, he wouldn't be there. I mean, anybody in the world. It doesn't matter how well they're guarded.
Right. You guys go ahead. I'm just going to scroll down through the news items here while I take care of some cats. Go ahead.
At any rate, we've had a lot of breakthroughs here with Beyond Undisclosed. And one of them has been capturing the actual bullet in flight. I did put that in the chat if you want to take a look at that. But we have a good solid 4 frames of motion and the impact. So we can actually see the actual outline and the silhouette of the bullet in the footage. Took me quite a while in order to isolate it, though. Another thing that we had a biblical event that we deciphered this week. I'll be talking about it as soon as I can verify it with other sources. And then one thing I can tell you, which is really special, is we have linked the Miami Mall alien incident with the New Jersey drone incident. It was actually related. So we're looking into that. And I'm really happy about the work that we've done. I'm really appreciative of Robert Morningstar verifying our results. It's one thing in order to find something. It's another thing in order to have it validated, and I'm very appreciative to that. So that's where we're at right now with Beyond Undisclosed, and hopefully we'll be bringing that biblical event out soon. But again, I need to talk to some authorities before I talk about that further.
All right. I'm not sure if anyone has anything to add to that. We got another Alan, actually out of Australia, who we haven't heard from too much because of his beer brewing schedule and obligations. Alan, you're with us here, along with Naroki, of course. How are things? How's the beer coming along?
Yeah. It was a bit of a non-starter, actually. It was still bubbling, so I had to leave it for another day. Got to leave it for a couple more days. And then, well, while I'm here, I thought I'd go to the bowling club. Yeah, but going on to all the world news, so I think that's more interesting in my life. But yeah, he's saying Netanyahu's house has been bombed.
According to Jimmy Dore, that's right, and they got their sources, and I put a lot more stock and faith in the likes of Jimmy Dore than CNN, Fox, or any of the other co-opted mainstream mouthpieces.
Yeah, what do you reckon? It was an insurance job. He needs money for his legal fees.
That's called Jewish lightning. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it is. Burn it down.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I heard a comment earlier today on somewhere on the internet that that about 18 or 19 countries are actually involved in this now. So it is a world war.
Of course,
we are in World War III, folks.
Well, it was starting. Look, as far as World War III kicked off, actually World War IV kicked off September 11th, 2001. As far as I'm circumcised, So
Yeah.
the Cold War, World War III was the Cold War, according to
Yep.
one of our sources. Makes good sense. I'm down with
Mm.
that. And the fourth, September 11th. The fifth is, you could say, the war on humanity, just generally, with all being the full spectrum dominance, the way that we're being targeted, all of us, and attacked
Yeah.
from any any and every angle possible. The food, the air, the water, the education system, the media. It could all be a lot better. We're not living in a perfect or ideal world. We could make it. We could make it a little better. Not utopia
Yeah.
necessarily, but definitely some room for improvement.
Yeah.
So, and that's why
Uh,
Kennedy is trying to do his good work there, of course, with making America healthy again. He's got, you know, opposition that he faces, unfortunately, as well. So it's
yeah.
not
Well.
as
Yeah.
easy as it
Yeah.
might
Well,
seem.
it seems like I've heard a lot of like they're rubbishing him a bit about sort of like past things and things like that, and yeah, it's just the way the media works. They sort of like they don't like what they're doing. They'll bring up past events and things like that, like the old statement of cocaine off a toilet seat and things like that. Yeah, so they're trying to run him down so that so he doesn't get any traction.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and,
Hmm.
it's probably a good thing that he's got a bit of power now. So hopefully he'll do good things.
Well, that's what the alliance, when he came out and kind of crossed the aisle, as it were, and joined
Yep.
forces with Trump. That was pretty powerful. That was
Yeah.
a really historic moment, and
Mm.
it gave the campaign a lot of momentum. It's unfortunate now with Trump's popularity and the way of him. There was so much promise from the start, and the way that it seems he's expanded with, or spent a lot of his political capital, is what a lot of the analysts are discussing. And here's the thing: why not focus on the domestic economy? Is this their plan to improve, really make America great again, by going out and waging war on Israel's behalf? because
Yeah.
because the Mossad has the goods on you, like blackmail, that who knows how horrific it all really is. There's even like rumors, likes of Ellen, the former talk show host, the carpet muncher, Ellen, and what a sick person, man. And I think of her girlfriend, that Anne Hesh, and the way that she died. Very suspicious circumstances. The way that she was trying to remove herself, to extract herself from the body bag, and the ambulance people, they grabbed her and and pushed her back in, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
We all
so
saw that footage, didn't we?
well, people that were paying attention, sure. So
Mm.
not everybody, but people
Mm.
who care about these things, obviously. So want to hold the bastards accountable. But as I said, these are very powerful forces that we're exposing and shining a light. The course of the you could say the end times apocalypse, end times for this particular, this era, essentially, and a shift to who knows where. I don't know if you did frame it in terms of good versus evil, light and dark, which is very, I think, the Manicheans or Manichaeans of ancient times. uh, that St. Augustine, although he was one for a period himself, worked so, he was vigorously, and to eradicate, essentially, and wipe out if you look up the Manichaeans, the forces of light and forces of darkness, similar to the Zoroastrians, I guess, the ancient Persians, as it were, Indian. They're Aryans as well. Let's not forget. So, Iran. That's where the word comes from, I guess. The Iran, the Indo-Europeans, Aryans, and also for Ireland, too. So now I'm not sure what's going on here. We're gonna. Oh, geez, Roger Hansen was trying to call us. What the deal is exactly there, I don't know. Now, Okay, so Roger, hang on, Roger. We're gonna hang up on him. I don't know why we everything was. Okay, we're back. We're back. Did you hear it? Did
There
you
you
hear
go.
me the whole time there? Kind of bantering away.
Um,
Anyways, Roger he called in, and we should try to get him in through another means. Maybe one of you guys could help out there with a little co-production or co-hosting and see, like, he's part of the room. So anyways, I'll leave it there, and because there's so much more we could get into. Does anyone have a point, something more they'd like to add to things here? As far as, we do have our talking points as well too, regarding the passing of, I was a fan of, I'm a fan of the Grateful Dead, absolutely. Bob Weir, how many kill shots did he take? Jill Gerard, 82. There's been so many great actors and, celebrities, performers. This guy was really he was a firecracker. Desmond Wilson, or Demond Wilson, from Sanford and Sons. He ended up becoming a Christian preacher, I guess, and pastor. And he seemed like a man of, he was an interesting character. There's no doubt about it. But he had some real. He's in a good place now, I do believe. So Neil Young, Bruce, and Billy Bragg. Why did we make note of them? Eric Von Daniken has passed away at the age of 90, of course. That was a few months back. And a whole number of other links here that owning the weather by 2025. We were thinking of actually launching our this year's, the initial, the debut show, World Pirate Radio News, with that particular theme in being highlighted. This, because I guess America went through, was it a month or so of really extreme weather, and I would be willing to bet it had a lot to do with what these people have been up to, and how the weather has been controlled now for some time, and most people just simply don't know about. Essentially hoodwinked, good old Freemasonic term, which, for those of you who are not aware, I've researched it, and how accurate this is, I couldn't really tell you, but some claim, these are like insiders, rabbis, as a matter of fact, that at its core, at its deepest roots, Freemasonry essentially is crypto Judaism of one form or another. So uh, make of it, make of it what you will. What else we got on board here? Give him hell, George. Geez, who are we referring to, anyways? Give him hell, George. Well, it's a while back that we. So we have all these notes, essentially, I guess, is one of the points. Keith Richards and his arthritis. Will the Rolling Stones be back? Who knows? They're still doing their thing and trying to as best they can. But my God, they've been out there and really given it their all for quite some time. So the Soga clan, this is something that really fascinates me. People can look into this more. This is out of Korea, is where they originated this outfit, and big promoter of Buddhism in Japan. They got driven out after hundreds of years. Finally, they lost militarily, just a little. Things didn't go in their favor. They ended up making their way over to Japan, and under the, with Prince Shotoku essentially leading the charge, working to spread the Buddhism. So they call him Soka Muni, Soka. So I think these people were actually Scythians, is my theory. The Skita, as they call them here in Korea, the Sogdians, traders along the Silk Roads. And, keep in mind, there have been Westerners found here, buried, and in China as well, too, and the Silk Roads, of course. Red-haired mummies of the Silk Roads, quite fascinating stuff. The kind of history that it's a lot of people don't know about, and it's maybe like a political hot potato for whatever reason. So dementia now hitting people in their 30s and 40s. Well, it's something that I'm struggling with here myself, just early onset dementia. Canada, trying to do my best in rectifying things or stabilizing the situation, taking all the right supplements and getting the sort of exercise and so forth that is required to with our aging bodies and minds. We need to take good care of ourselves. Something that Robert knows a fair deal about, I guess, that these Chinese bio labs.
Yeah. I was out of the room for a moment just to get something to eat, but Longevinix.
Yes.
This is, I swear, this is a miraculous thing. My mother was suffering dementia, the onset of dementia. She was asking me the same question like 10 times in 2 minutes, and I was answering each time, and then I realized that I had to help her. My late friend Bill Sardi was a genius in biochemistry. He developed this product, Longevinix. So I ordered it, and I started giving it to my mom. And a week later, she said to me, "You know those pills you're giving me? I'm starting to feel something." And 2 weeks later, the dementia just disappeared, and she was clear and coherent till the end of her life at 93. So for the last 3 years of her life, Longevinix changed it. I take it myself, as a matter of
That's great. No, you've mentioned it before. Thank you for bringing that up again. And this is the sort of thing that I wish, the wife is quite helpful here and very supportive in her own way. But why are we bleeding through here now? I wonder. Let's see if we can maybe mute
I wish I could hand this. I wish I could hand this through the screen right to you.
Well, okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to order it here ourselves. We've looked into it, and it's something I've got to keep on her and her, just reminding her, because she's the one that handles all these sort of things. I don't even have a credit card, although I do, see to it that she's compensated fairly, duly compensated, with a little tip thrown in there from time to time. Oh yes, Danny, that's right. Yes, he's concurring with you here, Robert. He's saying get that Longevinix. Is that right?
Vinex. The way to remember is VIN is in vine.
Yeah.
Because it uses that substance that's in French wine,
yes.
IP6, ginkgo biloba, some other Chinese herbs. It's a miraculous combination, and I feel its effects. I feel its effects when I don't do it. So I encourage all my friends to take it. It was a miracle for me. It really made the last few years of my mother's life tolerable.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
People ask you the same question 10 times in 2 minutes. It's upsetting.
Yeah.
So,
but that's brilliant. I'm really happy to hear that, man, because that's one of the things essential to people who practice Buddhism is to focus on amelioration or lessening, minimizing suffering where you can, whether yourself or others. And so that what you did there that's just brilliant. And I hope that everyone else out there, takes note and hopefully follows suit. I know I do typically, try to where I can to help folks out, animals or what have you. But yeah, it's just, because the world is difficult and we struggle, and all sentient beings struggle, have their issues, and physical or otherwise. So let's if we could get them as a sponsor, that would be brilliant. And for sponsor for the feature shows or what have you, that would really help to light a fire under our asses here, and add a little more wind to our sails. If this is a friend of yours, maybe you could help to just
Sorry, he's deceased. He died about 5
Oh
years.
no! Is it? Did he have
Contact-
children? Did he have a son or children?
I believe he did, but I don't know who runs the company. But you could contact
It's
him.
It's run out of Canada too, right?
I don't think so. I thought it was in California.
Okay, we'll double check, but I think Canada. Anyways, so we'll see. Moving along, Roger, you're here. You made it. Hey, good to have you on board here, Roger. It was great to connect with you. Was that last week with your gosh, what's the name, that show that you did with Otto? Someone that we're working on bringing, to the Robin Hood, of course, and having in the featured guest spot for a weekly.
You came in on I believe it was at the end of the quantum gathering that they
right.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
All right. Well, yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself to people, as we move along here then. So what Roger Hansen, you're, highly active over on Minds, of course. And how many shows do you actually produce?
Well, I've tamed it down. I've tamed it down this year. I'm getting a little bit more organized. Like I took a cue off of Marco Tosik. He does Dragus, where he just does it twice a week. So
Yep.
My streams are on Thursday. I start out with Minds Roundtable.
Okay.
And then after that, we go into actually, I've moved Minds Roundtable to Fridays because everybody started missing Fridays.
So hold it. So let's end this. See, is that the same time here in Korea as to the Quantum Gathering? Because that would make it really easy for me. No.
The quantum gathering is 2 hours after we start Minds Roundtable. So, but that's still on Thursdays.
Oh, so that would be Friday here. Okay, all right, yeah. See, I have a lesson at that time actually. So 2 hours before, maybe 9, something like that. All right, well, we'll keep in touch because if I can connect with you and we can talk Minds, I will become more active on Minds. Chances are, I can pretty much tell you. So it helps me and it helps everyone.
Anytime on Saturday, all the way up until after midnight, you can get in touch with anybody from Minds Roundtable because we do Minds Roundtable, and then within the show we do like 2 hour bits. One will be on, say, esoterics, and then the next one will be on conspiracies, and then we'll turn around and we'll go into the headlines after midnight where we talk politics, UFOs, ghosts, whatever.
Is that the Quantum Gathering?
That one is Quantum Gathering with Bob Dub. And,
hey, Roger, do you post that link up at Teams by any chance? Because I've tried finding the link for that meetup at Teams, and I can never find it.
It's Jitsi.
Yeah, it's Jitsi. We have people that are a part of the show who do not like Teams. They don't like Microsoft.
Yeah,
I get so many people from Minds that you would just blow your mind. They don't want anything to do with anything but Linux.
Oh wow, cool! Like I my Linux here it's still down. I stare at it, I think about like, what is it? Rufus? Is that the operating system? Like I think I've got it here on the computer, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's a fuck it all pill that I've taken.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just like fuck it all.
If you're not posting it up at Teams, where else are you posting it up? Because man, I'm Discord.
You're in my community for Rogers Hangout. So whenever I go in and post for Jitsi, it's usually in Rogers Hangout.
On Discord?
On Teams.
Okay.
On Teams. Okay.
What about, and you can always do an email too, like with all your email contacts, right? And just kind of, if you wanted, that's what we sometimes do once in a blue moon. It's really
if you want me to, I can send you a direct link to the Jitsi too, and you can just go right on in like we do with Rumble.
I've bookmarked it. So that's what I just need. I sent it, boom, bookmark, good. Similar with Robert, although it seems a little more tricky because there's like a security thing that's going on there. I will send him my name though, my contact information, username, and as we discussed in the opening segment, be able to take it from there. So and connect with him. So looking
What
forward to
what
that.
do you mean, Jeffy? With Facebook?
No, with Discord, with the shows that we're doing
Discord,
through Discord. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you have to
need,
send me
yeah.
your handle. Your handle.
Oh, yeah. I will do that most definitely. So.
By the way, a little later on, I would like to make a couple of comments about the CIA and NASA and correct some of.
Okay, well, if no one else has anything more to add to things, why don't you do it now? Because, and let's not forget, Jeff, with Epstein, the Epstein files, they let him. It's like Manson talked about when it's like who's pissing on my leash, is the kind of like the code word that he used, like to let him run with as much line as he wants in order to. You've got big fish that you're taking down, that you've got compromat on. So they let him do his thing and without charging him. That's the standard, as you say, like the CIA tactic. They have one psychopath essentially that they allowed to get away with all this crap in order to collect dirt on other valuable political assets that they can then control.
Yeah. Well, first thing, I just inserted a link to, oh yeah, I'm glad that Yvonne is here. I just inserted a link to an article called From Torah to Trauma.
Right.
Which is about the exposure of that Haredi sect back in June 4th through June 12th. They were having these hearings in the Knesset, and 20 women between the ages of 20 and 40 were testifying that they had been abused, satanically, ritually abused in blood sacrifices by the sect. And this is the key, the core to Baal worship. Now, Yvonne said that the CIA didn't help overthrow Assad. But as I said, he's wrong. The CIA is not an American organization, and neither is NASA. Their charters, because they are not called the United States Intelligence Agency, and they are not called the United States Space Agency. And this because they took all these paperclip Nazis into intelligence community. What a charming word. The intelligence community is composed of former Nazis. And when these former Nazis, former Third Reich Nazis, post-Third Reich, still Nazis, they signed a contract with the United States government. Behind President Truman's back, the U.S. Army negotiated with Reinhard Gehlen, who was the head of the Nazi intelligence spy organization and networks. And he offered to surrender himself and his cadre and all of their files and the network they had in the Soviet Union of Nazi spies, which is vast. They weren't all caught. So to save his own life and the life of his officers in a prisoner of war camp, they contacted their senior officers and got permission to surrender to the U.S. Army en masse their entire network, all of their files, all of their knowledge in return for protection, because the Russians were looking for them. And the Russians had a list of all of these Nazis that they wanted to grab, including Werner von Braun and all of those, the scientists. So they agreed to surrender to the United States. They wrote a contract. And one of the paragraphs that I've memorized from that contract, you can find it in a book called The Service by Reinhard Gehlen. And he also established West Germany's Bundeswehr network of spies in Europe after World War II. The quote that I want to give you is, "It is understood that we do not work for the Americans. we work with the Americans. If we were to work for the Americans, we would be looked upon as quislings, as traitors. And if ever the interests of Germany and the United States should diverge, it is understood that our first loyalty is to Germany. That's the final paragraph. There's another paragraph that says the funding for our operations must come from something that is not listed in the congressional record.
Off the books.
So that's off the books. So that's where you get the black ops funding, and that's where the CIA got into drugs, drug trafficking,
UFOs.
Hiding UFOs, first of all. That was another big secret. But human trafficking, prostitution, all the vice. They married the mafia in 1959 in order to kill Castro. Then they joined with the mafia to assassinate President Kennedy. The CIA is the New World Order. The CIA was born in 1948. And in 1948, there was a party in the United States called the United World Federalist Party. And this party had a presidential candidate whose name was Cord Meyer. He failed miserably. Truman and Dewey ran as Democrat and Republican. He ran as a third party, got swamped. Nobody in America wanted communism or socialism in those days. And that's what this World Federalist Party was. It was based on the philosophy of H.G. Wells that he posited, he proposed in 1938 in a book called New World Order.
That's right.
So the New World Order was adopted by the intelligentsia, the aristocracy in England, and the intelligentsia, the Eastern establishment. They really liked the idea. So after World War II, they said, well, this is the time to implement something new, and let's make the United Nations in the model of the New World Order. So this guy, Cord Meyer, failed presidential candidate in 1948, known communist, was recruited by Allen Dulles into the CIA, and he was put in charge of the MK Ultra program. So when Cord Meyer migrated into the CIA, he took his cadre of political operatives with him. And so the ideology of the New World Order became the standard operating policy of the CIA. So in 1953, they overthrew Mossadegh, installed the Shah. In 1979, the Shah was in trouble. He was a very ruthless ruler. The CIA, George H.W. Bush specifically, the former director of the CIA, and then vice presidential candidate with Ronald Reagan, made a secret trip to Paris to meet with the foreign minister of Iran. And the reason was that Jimmy Carter, the president, had been negotiating for the release of the hostages that were taken in the American embassy in 1978, and they had been in prison for a year. So he was on the verge of having them released. If Jimmy Carter had succeeded in having the hostages released, he would win the presidential election. And they wanted to forestall that.
October surprise. October surprise.
Exactly. That's where the term comes from that. In October, George H.W. Bush flew to Paris secretly, but he was seen there. He was seen at the airport. People recognized him. Then it was found out that he met with the foreign minister of Iran, and he negotiated a deal. Do not release the hostages until after the election in November, and we will give you arms and weapons and money. And so they held the hostages until the very day, January 20th of 1981. They held those American diplomats and embassy workers prisoners until Ronald Reagan took his oath of office.
And he got he and the Reagan administration got all the credit.
That's right. And I'll never forget this. I looked at the headline of the New York Times. It says, Reagan inaugurated President of the United States, hostages released by Iran after 444 days in captivity. And I thought, 444 days,
Yeah.
666,
Yeah.
the numerology,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Masonic numerology behind it all. It was just so revealing. So the CIA did
Oh, yeah.
overthrow
Oh,
and
hell,
did
yeah,
install,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, so,
install Ayatollah Khomeini and supported him.
yeah.
And then later on, they got into this really weird thing, the Iran-Contra.
Exactly. Those were the roots.
And who's the third? The thing that boggled my mind is the third country involved in the Iran-Contra affair is the United States, Iran, and Nicaragua.
Well,
so they were taking drugs from the Contras, transforming it into money, giving them arms, buying the arms and the missiles with the drug money, and giving it to Iran. That is the CIA. The CIA is not American. The CIA has inveigled Trump into this situation because the CIA is the New World Order.
Real similar to the way the opium wars were structured as far as the trade and payments were concerned with the tea, the opium, and I guess there was a lot of silver as well as used as a standard currency. But you're also one little aspect or one element maybe that you're overlooking here at present. Just we have less than 20 minutes. Saddam Hussein.
Oh yeah, Saddam Hussein was installed by the CIA as the counter to the Iranians, and we supplied him with weapons of mass. He did have weapons of mass destruction, but they hid the fact that it was America that gave him the chemical weapons and biological weapons that he used in a war against Iran, and each of them lost 1 million people in that war. But then when he decided to start accepting foreign currencies for oil, that was his death sentence. The same as it was for Muammar Gaddafi.
Right.
Gaddafi. The petrodollar had to be maintained because without it, the United States government could not function.
Gaddafi was working, I guess, on launching a Pan-African currency. Is what word has it?
Pan-African dollar based on gold.
Sounds good to me. Why not? You know.
Yeah, it sounds good to Africans too. And so Hillary Clinton and Obama murdered him. And he had already changed. You know, I was involved in exposing his atomic energy program. I gave the information to the FBI and to the Congress in 2002 because I'd been monitoring something I discovered in 1996. I was studying Landsat photographs. A satellite, Landsat, was taking pictures of the world. It was the first really great one. So I was studying Egypt and I was curious about the pyramids and their location. So I was studying a Landsat photograph of Giza, and I backed out. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw a patch of desert in southern Libya near a place called Al-Kufra. And it just jumped off the screen at me. And I went into it and I said to myself, that doesn't look like a desert. That looks like Nevada in the 1950s, referring to the nuclear test sites in the 1950s in Nevada. And I started watching it. I said, man, this doesn't look like. And they started to talk about the great sub-Saharan irrigation project that Gaddafi was running. So I started monitoring that. And I was suspicious that this was, you know, a nuclear development site. So I watched it for 5 years. And in 2001, I was connected very closely with a friend of mine, a Navy man named Robert Anderson, who monitored something called Debka File. Debka File was an intelligence site, an Israeli intelligence website that was run by former intelligence officers, Mossad. So Robert Anderson sends me this article. He says, Mossad discovered there are 450 Iraqi nuclear scientists working at this place called Al-Kufra. I said, what? Al-Kufra? You know, I'd been watching it for 5 years. So when the U.S. went into Iraq, they were trying to find the nuclear scientists. They couldn't find any of them. Israel found them in Libya, in Al-Kufra. And I said, this is it. That's where they're working on the nuclear bomb. So I contacted the FBI and I went to Washington directly and spoke to the Speaker of the House, and I gave him the pictures, the information. I also gave it to Bill Plant of CNN. He gave it to the Pentagon. Within 1 year, Gaddafi was confronted with it, and he coughed up the atomic bomb project.
You should have done the same with Dimona, Israel's Dimona, project reactors and the site that's been.
There's nothing that can be done about that. We've known about that since JFK.
But it's yeah, exactly. But that's one of the reasons he was killed, I would argue too. It's one of the reasons.
The CIA and Mossad are hand in glove.
Sure. Yeah, we both know that. It's from James Jesus Angleton on, essentially. LBJ was a proto crypto Zionist, however you want to put it. He was really, he had Jewish girlfriends, Jewish Israeli, that were spies, I guess, as well, too, of course. Yeah. So it's pretty.
Anyway,
if the
I wanted to clarify that, and I wanted to just. For Yvonne, I wanted him to know these facts. Read October Surprise.
Right.
George Bush, director of the CIA, flew to Paris to negotiate.
Sure.
And that is an act of treason because it is against something called the Logan Act.
That's the Bush family.
That's the Bush cabal,
Yeah, so, yeah. And whatever happened to treason, anyways, and this business of trading with the enemy? I guess that's no longer in place, is it?
I think the Trading with the Enemies Act is still on file, but you bring back memories that George Bush's father, Prescott Bush, John Foster Dulles, and Allen Dulles were arrested by the FBI in 1940 because they had been funding Hitler and sending supplies and armaments through third parties to Hitler. So they were arrested and charged under the Trading with the Enemies Act. But FDR, when he realized the implications that we had a fifth column in the United States, that we had Nazi sympathizers very high up in banking and industry and law, he said, we can't do this. The American people, can't take it. So he quashed the indictment.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Robert or Roger.
Right.
Now, the one thing that in my research that I've also found that a lot of people overlook is Cecil Rhodes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right. Jolly Roger Hansen.
When it comes to the Trilateral Committee and stuff like that, I think that's something that really does need to be mentioned.
Milner's Kindergarten.
Absolutely. You know what needs to be mentioned? Rhodes Scholars. And you know who was a Rhodes Scholar?
Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
Chris Christopherson. Hello.
Many have been Rhodes Scholars,
I love Christopherson, man.
Their tentacles into them.
And there's also another book, actually, that Naroki suggested to me that I don't know if you've checked out or not, but it's called One Nation Under Blackmail by Whitney Webb.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I know her very well, I mean, I know her work very well.
That'd be quite something if we were able to actually line her up and get her on the show. It'd be a pretty big deal for us.
Yeah, she did a huge expose just this week.
Getting Whitney Webb. There's a lot of people that want to talk to Whitney Webb.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we do have some pretty well-known people lined up in the queue, as was mentioned earlier. We got 10 minutes left here, but the feature end of things, the likes of Preston Dennett and others. We're not going to do too much name dropping here, but it will be folks whose work you have probably come across at one point, in time or another. So look forward to that. Well, as I stated earlier, though, with more listener support and sponsorship, definitely stand to provide the sort of wind, for the sails that we really need here to keep the lights on and water running and everything else. Hate to be operating completely out of pocket here and working in the red. God almighty, I tell you, it's a terrible place to be. But we are pretty busy, here in the real world, as it were, via South Korea with which is great because we were really hurting for quite some time as far as being able to land and line up work. So and you can just imagine because the sort of talking points and issues that we discuss here, you have to be really careful with the way that they're presented to these people in Korea, mostly because it's the sort of content that they're not overly familiar with. And as with Plato's Cave, that you can really overwhelm some people sometimes with these freedom fueled truth bombs, as it were. It's too much for them, essentially blows their minds to the point where, they can even become quite frightened or definitely, discombobulated for sure.
Oh,
So you have to steady as she
I
goes.
I have and this is off topic, but this is how unhinged some people can get. I have recently on all of my video channels, I have recently started posting up basically pro-independence content, Alberta independence
Yep.
content on
Yep.
and what's been going like literally on BitChute one time I posted up and this one guy, his excuse for dismissing some of the stuff that's being said from unacceptable fringe is, oh well, the guy's just a fat grifter, and my response was, well, he's wrong where? And he refused. And it's like, they will, if somebody wants to be willfully ignorant, they will find a reason to be willfully ignorant, no matter how stupid that excuse is. And it was like I kept, and again, right, if somebody's going to be that willfully ignorant, at least with me, I will keep pushing them on it, right, to the point where they have no choice but to, well, I mean, except to pretty much out themselves as being willfully ignorant or really stupid, right? And it's like, so I just kept pushing the point. It's like, he's fat is not a fucking, pardon the language, not an excuse.
Cognitive
wrong.
dissonance, I guess, is in
Where?
part what you're touching upon here, I guess.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Like.
Yeah, he's wrong. Where? Be specific. And he, again, right? It's like if somebody wants to be cognitively dissonant or willfully ignorant, they will find even a flimsy excuse like the guy who runs Unacceptable Fringe
Uh-huh.
is a little is fat and use that as an excuse to dismiss everything that he's saying.
Well, he's got good quality content, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, right? And it's like he dots his I's and crosses his T's, right? And
Well, hang on. Yeah, finish your point, and I've got something I gotta throw in here, a bit of a just general disclaimer.
And I had somebody else. I also had someone come. By the way, Roger, you, me, and V were on this show, and he came at me saying, "Oh well, you guys, I get more intelligent. I hear more intelligent conversation from listening to drunkards in a bar."
Who is this?
You know how we
Who is this?
You know how we run things.
Yeah.
You know how we run.
Well, I mean, he was right. He was right.
You're getting trolled by this guy?
Well, the guy was telling the truth.
So I went back to him and says, "Well, okay, then we're wrong where?"
So, but hold it. Was he in the room with you, or is he in the comment section?
He was in the comments.
And so you don't even section. Okay, and you don't even know who this person was, right? Really, other than the name.
And it's like, I mean, but again,
well, good. You're right. You're over the target, bro. It's like you're taking. That's good. You're over there. That's great. That's a badge of honor.
He was right, by the way, too. Like most drunk people in bars just envy our conversations because we're so great in Naroki. So don't let that ride on you.
Yeah. So listen, and by the way, just to kind of cap things off here, maybe before we steer things, we gotta kind of wind the show down, as it were, and head back into port, as we remind listeners that the views and opinions expressed on behalf of the show's host and our guests do not necessarily reflect those of the wider listening audience nor the show's sponsors. Moreover, that We encourage everyone to do their own, legwork, fact checking, and make the best qualified decision they can. Consult with experts, in each of these fields that we investigate and discuss, along with there's a lot of resources via the interwebs. So talk with your friends, and don't just like with seeing a doctor, for example. And which reminds me, we're not here to offer any form of legal, medical, or financial advice. But in seeing a doctor, shop around, seek out if you have to. Don't be afraid to try to find a second or even third opinion regarding whatever problem you might be facing. So, and it's interesting to note too that as much as we share these general disclaimers, that it's on these very sort of shows where BoobTube, I mean, they've demonetized us from day one. That's why we really do depend on our listeners as far as the super chats and so forth are concerned. We don't have those because YouTube won't allow us to have that feature in place. They're more than happy to capitalize on the content that we produce, but that's about as far as it goes. Who's bleeding in there? Naroki, I guess. We got 2 minutes, folks, so we got to hear from you, how you can be contacted, when you live stream, and anything else you'd like to share just in closing here with time remaining.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna jump out here just in a minute or so. Again, because I do 4 days on, 4 days off, and I'm kind of like all over the place with my schedule. And RPN is tentatively scheduled for Friday night.
Red Pill Nation Hangout.
Yeah.
And that is I'm sorry, that is what time on the west coast of Canada? What time in the east?
That would be 8:30 on the west coast.
11:30 on the east.
11:30 on the east coast.
12 midnight Newfoundland.
Well, actually, the topics are already set up for.
All right.
I just have to load it up. So yeah, I got to get back to work here. Thanks for having me tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert, I will definitely be actually both Robert and Roger. I'll definitely be in contact with both of you in the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay.
Sounds
right,
good.
I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Later.
Okay, Robert.
Okay. Following up on everything I brought up about the CIA.
1 minute.
This is a definitive article I put in the link. Facing reality. CIA is the New World Order. You can find it on Substack, robertmorningstar.substack.com, and I'm on Revolution Radio on Sundays at 3 and on Mondays at 10. A on Sunday, B on Monday. Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
Find me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you again. Hopefully here before too long via Discord. So, Alan and Roger Hansen.
Go first, Alan.
30 seconds, guys.
Yeah. G'day, guys. I'm thanks for letting me on the show. I'll get back to you. I've got a project happening. It's called Conspiracy7. And Conspiracy7 at Proton Mail. More details if we had more time. I'll let you know. Thank you.
Okay, Alan Mosdale. Thank you. And Roger Hansen.
You can find me at mine's at Roger_Hansen. You can also find me on X, Roger at ROGLOL1973. You can also find me on Discord at the Wonderful World of Weirdness.
Wow, Wonderful World of Weirdness. All right, good stuff. We'll talk again here shortly. I'm sure as Teams so ungraciously decides to cut us off. Thank you to Didgeridoo 3, along with all you lurkers, although we would prefer that you do sign in, of course, become more directly engaged and a part of the conversation. We might be back here next week at the same time. or in 2 weeks, hence, a little further on down the road. That is kind of the plan, actually, for this year, as far as what we're looking at presently. Maybe two segments of World Pirate Radio News per month, along with 2 feature shows. So, staggering one after the next, each and every week, just a single live stream, whether on this is Thursday early afternoon here via Korea, so it's Wednesday nights in the West at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 if places such as New York, Miami, and Canada, Toronto, Montreal is where you call home. And the feature guest end of things, just trying to, should check the schedule actually. Not sure, just to get, things straight in my head here. Is it a Sunday or a Monday? So we will have to just check out the schedule that we have linked off of the main WPRPN.com site, the show schedule, because it has been altered. We've changed it around. We've got to update the picture, the banner that we have in place, of course. World Pirate Radio Podcast Network is how that acronym breaks down. And take a look at the new website, see if there's anything that, if you folks can help out in updating, or you've got creative ideas as far as the design, layout of any of the merchandise, or what we do here online is concerned, by all means. So yeah, as a matter of fact, what we're going to do is flip things around here so that we can see essentially the homepage and show information, show schedule. You can see right here at the top, hopefully, all these various links. Operation Secret Santa, that's an annual endeavor spanning the course of typically 10 days. So much more that we could update, obviously. But, it is what it is. We put a lot of work into things as it stands already. So, but scrolling down here, thank you to Sonia Galactic for helping out updating this new schedule banner. Mondays and Thursdays here is what we're looking at from the Seoul region, and this is 12 noon now because of the time change, spring daylight savings time. Sunday and Wednesday via the Americas, 8 on the West Coast and 11. That always stays the same, actually. That always stays the same. So we just, the only thing that we have to, we have to update is whether or not it's 12 noon or 1 p.m., depending on where we find ourselves throughout the course of each and every year that we produce here, of course. So there we go. Hope everyone has enjoyed the show and gotten something beneficial out of what we've had to offer. We've got these, once again, freedom fueled truth bombs that we really are dedicated in delivering to the public. It's an essential part of our agenda and why we're here. Let's not forget that, as compared to some other shows and networks, people out there, even high profile folks. I mean, when's the last time you heard Steven Crowder, or God forbid, Ben Shapiro? What a joke that guy is. lay any of the blame at Israel's doorstep, calling out the Mossad, calling out Netanyahu, these high-level blackmailers. You got to wonder how compromised these people are, clearly. But they've got the resources, gift of the gab. They are professional sophists in many ways. Let's not kid ourselves there. So there's numerous others as well. Dave Rubin, you can just imagine he could do a far better job, but he's a captured interest and voice. Jimmy Dore is one of the few I can think of who really stands out. A lot of what he has to offer that resonates in a big way, and really, I can concur with, because he's not pulling too many punches. He's delivering the goods. It's the straight goods, folks. So, all right, well, we're just going to cue up the outro here, I guess, and hope that it takes us to where we essentially want to go here. But yeah, it's been a great ride, and it's something that we're a little out of practice with, and in producing, obviously. So hope to see you again here before too long. There's I don't know what that is. It's like a Asian Freemasonic outfit that tried to friend me over Facebook. Jacob Rothschild was someone while he was alive too, reached out to me for whatever reason, I don't know. And multiple attempts on the part of what would appear to be the Illuminati, as a matter of fact. So, speaking of people being compromised, but I didn't take the money, didn't take the bait. Not that ready at this point, at least, to so easily sell my soul. Until we meet again, Vitas High, often all too intrepid digital seas. I'm your host, as always, Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Remember, folks, ear to the ground, eyes to the sky. Tally ho.